Hi YouTube, my name's Ryan and I am the grade 4-5 teacher at Cartwright Central Public School in Blackstock, Ontario. I'm one of two teachers actually, and Blackstock is an hour outside of Toronto. It's an hour east of Toronto. Our particular school has got a lot of farming families, and so that's just the context of where we are. Look me up on Twitter at teachingsmarter. You can find me on YouTube, which you found me here. The channel is Teaching Smarter. Website is teachingsmarter.ca. And I am a passionate teacher who loves using technology in my classroom. And my students and I are going through the Wild Robot and loving it. And we're finishing up week 3. I believe we are on chapter 41. And I have posted 2 video logs or vlogs for weeks 1 and 2, and now we're at the end of week 3 and I want to post week 3. I've gotten a bit of feedback and it's been encouraging to see teachers using the video for ideas, and so I'm hoping week 3 is even better than the previous ones. I grade 4 and 5. I'll just say that the ages in Ontario, we have 9 and 10-year-olds. I've got a few students that have October, November, December birthdays that are still 8, but most of them are 9 and 10. Okay, so all the stuff that we do, very easy for 8-year-olds to navigate. All right. Well, I've got the list of activities below here on my computer, so if you see me, peeking down, that's what I'm looking at. And what we did was on Monday, we started off the week using an app that I loaded for the kids. It is called Cam Scanner or CM Scanner. I'm an Android user. I am filming on my G6. And this CM Scanner is a great app. It's got something like 50 million downloads, and it allows you to take quick PDFs of items. So I use it personally for checks, I use it for business cards, and I use it for a lot of documents. We were moving in the summer. I used it, to scan documents and shoot them off to people. But I use it for about 60-70% of the time in the classroom, and it's mostly for student PDFs. So what I did was I took the book and I used my phone and I took basically screenshots. Sorry, the office just called. Very exciting news. My iPads have arrived from California. We're getting 8 iPads and iPods, and hopefully next week, if they're set up and running, I will give you a few ways that I've used those devices in the classroom with the Global Read Aloud. So anyways, I used my phone to scan PDF screenshots of the pages. I gave them 4 chapters. It was about 12 or 13 pages, nothing crazy. They did a partner read on Monday morning inside their Google Classroom, and then they had to do a comprehension activity with vocabulary. And what I wanted them to do was find 2 words that they were unfamiliar with or a little shaky, write them down on the Google Doc, and then they had to take one particular word that I found, and the word was defecating, and they had to tell me if they knew the word, and if they didn't or they did, what strategies could they use to figure it out. If they did know the word, what around the text would have helped them find it if they already knew it. So the idea in the book is that Roz, the robot, the main character robot, was planting a garden and she needed fertilizer. And as a robot, she said that she was unable to defecate. Defecating is the actual sentence, but that's the principle. She wasn't able to poop. So she needed the help of the animals in the forest. So that's the context of it. And I wanted to see if students could look at this unfamiliar word, but make sense of what the animals were doing, knowing what fertilizer was, and hopefully they could piece that together, and use that to build that schema around that unfamiliar word. It worked quite well. I was pleased with the outcome, and that's what we did on Monday. So they handed that in, and I am actually marking it as we speak. So that was Monday. Tuesday, what we did was we got together with a school in Illinois. We are in Ontario, like I said. We went down through the Great Lakes, down through Lake Michigan, and found a school in Illinois, just south of there, and we did a chapter 31 is what we were working on. We had Skyped this class once before, or rather we didn't Skype them, we did an online activity with them. Sorry, there's lots of pages going on in the school. So what we did was we got together with them week 2, we did this online activity. For week 3 we wanted to meet them just to get a bit of context to who they were. So the teacher and I arranged a series of questions, or an activity rather, on chapter 31, and here's what we did. We did Zoom in and Skype them, but beforehand, their exit ticket out the door for my class, going out for recess, was to come up with 3 questions that they would love to ask another school. And how we chose the questions was using something called a cue chart. A cue chart is really cool because it categorizes ways of organizing questions, and it's set up so that you have red, yellow, and green questions. A red question would be one sentence, or one word answer rather. A yellow question would be one sentence or 2 with a bit of support. And number 3, or a green question rather, would be 2 or 3 sentences, possibly a paragraph. So again, it's just a way to categorize your questions with thick or thin questions, or long answer, short answer. So we used red, yellow, and green. And the students had to come up with 1 red, 1 yellow, and 1 green before they went out for recess. They came in from recess. We voted on the one that we liked the best for each category, put 3 on the board, and then we went ahead and Skyped the class in Illinois, and we shared our 3 questions with them. They shared theirs, and for homework they had to choose 5 of the 6, and they had to answer them. And so that's what we did on Tuesday. It worked out really, really well. And we also sent the Padlet link to 2 other schools, one in North Dakota and one in Pickering. I've got my 4-5. We Skyped a grade 5 class, and then we sent it to another grade 5 and a 5-6 class. And we offered them the open link for them to go in and to post their questions rather, and they could use the whole generated Padlet to answer and assess their kids. So it was pretty fun. Pretty straightforward, really easy to set up, and Padlet again is something we've used every single week. Wednesday, we did another Padlet. No, this wasn't one we set up. It was a school in Georgia, and got online, met the teacher, and she sent us their Padlet link, and it was that's what we did on Wednesday. That's the activity that we did. So we did a bit of reading, and on Wednesday, I believe the question was something like, "Do you think Roz is a good mother?" And so my students, we interacted with that a little bit. So that was fun. On Thursday, what we did was we had a special guest come in. Her name was Carolyn Morton, and Carolyn Morton is our trustee. So she's our community government member, and she represents the school board to the community. And at least that's what I believe. I'm certain that's what the trustee is. I know they are a government, an elected member, and they represent the school in the community. So Carolyn Morton came in and she read to our kids, and that was really cool because I've invited adults to come in and read. So it's not just Mr. T reading 81 chapters, 270 pages. They get to hear different voices. So our principal is coming in on Monday, and she's going to read to the kids, and we've got some other guests that I'll tell you about in a few minutes. So Carolyn Morton came in, she read. It was really, really cool. And kids enjoyed, again, hearing a different voice. She had her own questions as she was reading, and her own enthusiasm and intonations. It was great. Then what we did was we did a Kahoot, and I found the Kahoot on Twitter. If you go to the hashtag GRAWild, you will find a whole string of... There's another page. We found the Kahoot on the hashtag GRAWild hashtag, and we did it with our kids, and it was just basically an intro 10-question Kahoot to the kids. I'll put the link in the description below. Okay, that's what we did on Thursday. We get to Friday, which is today. What we did this morning was we met a school who is close by. We did meet them for the first time today, and it was a school at Sherwood Public School, I believe it was, in Oshawa. And we did a mystery Skype with them, but because we were pressed for time, we did an animal Skype. So we thought about some of the animals that Roz had met on the island. We kind of narrowed it down to animals outside of the island because they're forest animals, and there's only been a dozen or so that have been mentioned. So we wanted to go off the springboard of animals that Roz had been interacting with, but we let them choose an animal globally. And we just went back and forth asking yes or no questions to see if we could figure out what animal we chose. And they chose a camel, and we weren't able to figure it out, and we chose a narwhal. And they were able to get whale, and they were able to get pretty close, but we ran out of time before they could figure it out. So that's what we did. So again, it was a busy week. We did some vocabulary, we did some Padlets, some cue charts, we did a Skype call, we did a broad question again, and we finished off, or we added in a Kahoot, and we had a trustee come in and read. So it was a real exciting week for us, and I encourage you to think outside the box as you're doing your planning. Next week, pretty exciting week actually, and maybe I should have mentioned this at the beginning, but if you've stuck it out for 11 minutes, I appreciate it. We're having the newspaper come in. It's a local newspaper, but they do a circulation of about 300,000 homes, and they're going to be coming in on Tuesday to do a story on our class's journey through the Global Read Aloud, and hoping that gets a bit of press. Hopefully I can throw my Twitter handle in there and generate a little bit of views to get people back to this video log, and hope that even more teachers get the ideas. But that's what we're going to do on Tuesday. Thursday, or rather Friday, our school board or school district is coming in actually to do a story as well. And we have the director coming in. So she is the top lady in our school board, and I've invited her as well as my principal and some other parents to come in as we've gone through this 6-week journey to do some reading. So on Friday, Lisa Miller will be coming in, and she will be reading to the kids for a half an hour, and there is a communications officer who is going to be coming in and doing a story as well. So pretty excited. We're coming into week 4, we're halfway through, and we're now getting some publicity. So I'm really excited for my kids that they get this opportunity, and hope that when the article is printed, I will put a link to it, and hope, honestly, I just hope that you get excited about this book and excited about the journey, and hope that your kids just are so much more excited to come to school by all the cool ideas that you're going to give them. So thank you for watching. Hopefully they've been helpful. I do have, in week 2, I did post my blackboard. We've got a big map of North America, and I've actually written it out in chalk marker for my blackboard. I have run out of chalk marker. So when I get some more on Monday off of Amazon, I will update my board, and you can see that idea. But if you're curious about it right now, go back to week 2 and you can see the video. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully it's helpful. And if you have any questions, shoot me a note on Twitter. It's @teachingsmarter. You can find me on YouTube. You find me by email, teachingsmarter@gmail.com, or find my website, teachingsmarter.ca. Be blessed. Have a great week, and I look forward to talking with you again next Friday.